Hey, it's Sarah. Coming up, who on the show keeps their sex tape in its own storage unit? We're not even kidding. Plus, our thoughts on Robert Lee and the whole ESPN mess up. And tomorrow night for our 200th episode, we're doing a happy hour at Whitlow's on Wilson in Arlington, Virginia from 5 to 7 p.m. Come see us. We have a $100 and free bar tab to give you to say thanks. All right, Mervis Diamond, are you in the market for an engagement ring? Or maybe you're like Paul and me and you want to celebrate a career milestone? They're the best. We love working with them. Hit their website, mervisdiamond.com, or you can email Sarah at heyfrase.com, paulwhartonstyle@yahoo.com. We'll hook you up with Jonathan, the owner, to make a personal appointment. You can also check out our other awesome sponsor, which is Crystal City Bid. Their Fridays at the Fountain are happening now. If you need to unwind after a busy week, try Fridays at the Fountain in Crystal City, a weekly pop-up beer and wine garden with great live music in an outdoor, beautiful setting. More details at crystalcity.org. All right, here we go.
Hey.
Yeah! Can you hear this Facebook Live?
Here we go.
Hey, Frase,
Come on.
Frase, hey, Frase, what's the phrase?
Come on, AJ.
Probably not.
Hey,
Probably not.
Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase, what's the phrase that you hear?
Donna.
Do it.
Yeah, you gotta tune in. Sarah Fraser on the mic and she's about to begin. Co-host with the most, Paul Wharton looking bleak. Me, you should be listening. Live from the Gibson Cap, pop culture at his lips.
Do it. You got it.
Sarah Paul, the #1 co-hostess. I don't even know. Oh my God.
Oh.
Here's what I do know. Welcome to our 200th episode.
Yay!
Oh my God. Paul, and you truly have been here from the beginning. I mean,
Wow.
honest to God, you really have.
I feel so happy to be here. This is like one of the favorite things that I do in my whole career. Yeah.
Really?
It is.
I love that. I love that. Because, you know, you have a lot of
Do I
options.
get a car?
A car? From where?
It's the 200th episode. Who's giving stuff out, right?
You get a car. You get a car.
Well, we have cake
I
that
know,
we've destroyed.
right? Okay. I love it.
So you guys, thank you for being with us for all 200 episodes. We are now on Spotify. Be sure to listen to us at Spotify and also follow the podcast show. Paul, what's
Yes.
been going on? How was your weekend? Currently, we only see each other once a week for this show, which we need to do more often.
No.
Because we have so many things happening.
Well, you
but-
know the difference of this last weekend is I watch actually you. Normally you watch me on Instagram, like having this fabulous life, and I'm looking up and I'm seeing you like, what's up? You're in like the presidential suite of the Hyatt.
Okay, can we discuss this? Because I want to know how you handle this. Because I actually felt really guilty about this. And
The excess?
the excess. Yeah. Do you ever feel guilty?
Nope. No, just kidding. Not a bit. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I really want to overcome that because I think to myself, why? I work hard. Like, I shouldn't feel badly when good things happen, right? But this past weekend, a lot of good things happened. So Hyatt I've been talking to them forever, and they said, hey, why don't you and Dan come out for a staycation in Tyson? So I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that. So I come out, and then worlds collide. The OJs were supposed to be staying in this presidential suite. The OJs, the group, which I didn't even know what they sing, but I guess they sing Soul Train. I gotta bring
Yeah,
that
let's
up.
look it up.
I gotta-
People all the world, hey, join hands, join love train. Love train, people all the world, learn about it.
Join hands.
Hey.
I gotta look.
Oh, really?
It's like regular
You
hip-hop
only
music.
imitate a black voice. You don't know black music? Don't.
Oh,
Down.
boy.
Keep it right there. Keep
like
it tight.
cookout music.
Anyway, I know I really ought to know them, but I don't.
So you took the AJ's room, the OJ's room.
The OJ's,
Yeah.
right? They weren't going to stay. They had another show. So anyway, we get upgraded to this amazing presidential suite. I'm like, this is unbelievable. But then Dan also surprises me this weekend, which I should have brought it. Okay, I always am bitching about how I want him to be more spontaneous. Is this a sign of the ring?
Okay.
So we're staying at the suite. He had to work all day. Then he comes back and he brings me a gift. He usually never brings me gifts like unexpected. And I open it up and it's this amazing, you know, I'm obsessed with novelty clutches.
Yeah.
So it's a taco bag novelty clutch, which is just like too much, right? So you're like, what
All right.
the hell? Why would you want this?
The ice cream tub was just about as far as I was willing to let you
Okay,
go.
no. Wait till I bring this one in. It's a taco bag, full taco bag. So I just had an amazing amount
Does
of
it say
guilt
Taco
this
Bell on
weekend. No, God, I hope not. No, it just says, I think, Viva la Taco.
Oh, okay.
Or Viva las Tacos or
Okay.
something.
But it's cute.
So it was cute.
Yeah.
But then I end up feeling like, okay, this weekend has been amazing, right? I'm getting like gifts and I'm staying. It just seemed like too much. Do you ever feel that way?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything there to feel bad about, right?
But I feel like, oh my God, things are going so well. I almost feel a little guilt. Like, wow, that's like, instead of just being like, you know what? Yeah, I deserve this. I never feel like,
Yeah.
I like enjoy giving than I enjoy receiving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I felt a bit more balanced when I was the ambassador against hunger at the Capital Area Food Bank, because I did that for like 5 years. So the Capital Area Food Bank, for those of you that don't know, it's a part of Feeding America, and in D.C. they feed over 500,000 people a year with 30 million pounds of food, half of which is fresh produce. And I used to be their ambassador against hunger and go out and host events for them and talk on the news and different things about the hunger epidemic in D.C., because D.C. is ranked like #1 in child hunger.
Which is shocking, right? 'Cause
So
we
I was
seem like we
doing
have-
something every week for them, and you know, the original founder, she retired, and there was a new CEO. So I kind of just drifted away from that. And so when I do have those moments of excess, like you have a
Right.
lot of recently,
Yeah.
you know, when I was actually doing something for other people all the time, constantly, I would feel a bit more balanced. Now it's just excessive.
No, I just live in excess.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my weekend.
Yeah.
But how are you? Because you're looking amazing, and I'm obsessed with these gorgeous turtle
Oh my
cufflinks
God,
that
these
you
are
have.
crazy.
Have
Thank
you
you.
seen these?
Oh, that's so cute.
These will
You
go
know
well with
who-
my taco bag.
You know who I got these from is Kaz. You know Kaz, the Kaz collection? Yes.
He's amazing. Does he still have a store?
He works more client to client, that kind of thing, designing suits. He's really cool. It's
He's
a great friend of mine,
designer.
Kaz. KazLifestyle.com, I think it is.
Those are really cool.
Thank you so much. I haven't really done very much other than work. You know, my book is coming out in January,
Right.
as you all know, because I've talked about it a lot, and I plan to talk about it even more. So
Well, we better have a book signing.
we're going to have a book signing. We're going to do that, definitely. So basically, my fabulous publisher, who they're used to doing all these amazing books, but mostly novels, and when they were sending me back the interior of my book, I just wasn't that impressed with the way it looked. I was like, God, that's not how I envisioned it looking. So I've really just been working on that with them. So I ended up bringing someone on that's going to help me get it exactly the way I need it to be. And we're on point. We're on track. January 16th. It's pre-sale right now on Amazon.com. So
Well, I'm
thrilled
dying
about
to
that.
hear. I feel like you haven't gone out. I mean, I know you've been, you know, sort of in this love kind of not really love triangle, but you're sort of in this love friend, like with this hot guy from Brussels.
Yeah.
But I miss your dating stories.
I know. Well,
So what's going on? Are you?
Well,
Oh, can't say. Okay, we can move on.
actually, there's nothing much really happening. So, I mean, I'm open in the meantime. I mean, I guess as long as you don't have. When are you no longer single? Like, you are no longer single, but you're not married. So, at what point are you, like, can I still date other people?
I think once you've moved in with the person, I don't know. It's all about the discussions you've had with them, really, right? Like, what's the agreement you made? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have agreed not to have sex with other people with Dan. You know, I mean, okay, I am keeping my vagina in my pants. You know, that's what
Okay.
I've agreed to, right?
Right.
But you have to just have that conversation. But there are many couples that are totally cool at any
Yeah.
stage with you can see other people.
Yeah, I'm at an age and a stage where you got to try a lot of different things to make sure. I mean, you know, who knows what's going to be right,
Oh
you
my
know?
God, I feel like you
I
absolutely
need to date
do.
several people and then make my decision. But he's definitely a contender in Brussels.
Well, we missed that, so
Yeah.
we're hoping that you like fall off the wagon and have some indiscretion. I'm just kidding. Look, we have a ton though to get to on the show. We need to talk the nude celebrity hack. These guys haven't seen the nude photos of Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vonn. I guess I'm a sexual delinquent, I think. So I've been looking at these photos, and I find it hard to believe that they're them.
Okay.
Is it like wrong? Am I like sharing porn? Am I like violating people's privacy by that? I don't know.
I mean, it's a news topic, so
Oh, good. So then we can
You
safely
know.
look. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it if it were you, but
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is what kills me about celebrities. Why are you taking bent over full nude pictures of your hoo-ha knowing that it's going to get out, right? Here's the thing. I just pose naked in my bikini or whatever on my own Snapchat,
Yeah.
and I just control the message. Like,
Sure.
this is what it is. If people have basically seen me nude. I have one boob that's bigger than the other. I really wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
My
sometimes you
muff
just-
is embarrassing, but who cares?
all right. But sometimes you just want to commemorate the moment. You know, if you're have you ever had like some
No.
really good sex and you're just like, damn, I know I'm going to be thinking about that later. Like that little one piece is going to run me for a couple of weeks, but you just want to commemorate the moment. I mean, you don't want the pictures to necessarily get out.
Do you have photos in your past that you would be really nervous about that would get out?
No, I made a video.
You did?
Yeah, I made a video with a.
I love that.
Yeah, I made a video.
Does it ever look good?
I made a video and then got a storage unit just for my BlackBerry. This is way too much. Do you know how we said earlier? Was there one thing that?
Yes, I'll confess something.
You
Sure.
confess? I made a video with a person who we shouldn't have been making that video probably, and then I was so paranoid about what would happen with the video. I got a storage unit way out far somewhere, and it's still in there on my old BlackBerry. And sometimes since then I've gone to power it up to see if it's still there.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh my God! You still?
It's also known as my 401k.
Why have we not capitalized?
All right. Wait, we'll just hold off for a little bit.
Yeah, Paul, we got to catch that in.
Yeah,
So you're
maybe.
still paying for the cell phones bill for that BlackBerry too? So just in case if you need to send it, email
No, it's
it?
still on there. There's no service, but you can just power it up and the video's on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Good
when you
old
go back?
BlackBerry.
Do you watch it when you go back there?
this guy.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it like, damn,
One
I
more
look
run
good.
of that.
You gotta look-
Anyway, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Also, if you work in this industry, you're more likely to become an alcoholic. And this story is really depressing. I think we both know people that work in this industry, and actually, this industry is becoming more prevalent. So I thought we'd discuss that.
In this industry or the bar industry?
No, the bar industry.
Okay,
so
yeah.
in that industry. So we'll
Okay.
talk about that story. And then also a gay couple here in D.C. went into a restaurant, a high-end restaurant, and this has been a big story this week. And they claim that the waiter, they wanted to share a hot fudge sundae together at the end of their
Okay.
dinner, and that the waiter basically came
How'd you
over.
say that and you didn't laugh? They wanted to share a hot fudge sundae. Okay.
hot fudge sundae.
What else?
That was it. They said it was like the best. They had a fabulous dinner until they got to the dessert. And then the waiter says to them, 2 gentlemen do not share, out of one bowl, 2 spoons. We don't do that. I'll bring them to you in separate bowls. I'll quote exactly what the guy says.
Okay.
But people are very upset. This couple was upset. They wrote to the Washington Post saying they felt this was very homophobic. And I don't know if I agree with that. Because I have a story of going to a high-end restaurant, and I don't think that it was homophobic. But,
So are you saying the restaurant?
I'm not always woke, so I don't know.
So in the restaurant was the Prime Rib, right?
The Prime Rib is the restaurant.
Okay,
right.
so I went to the Prime Rib after my high school graduation. That's where I had my after graduation meal.
Okay.
And they are stuffy as hell. I mean, you get an amazing steak. It's fabulous service. I remember feeling like $1 million, but I did remember which fork is which glass is which. Of course, I was still a high school student, but just graduating. But I mean, it's that kind of place.
So here, we'll get into this story right now.
I wouldn't like it though.
The exact quote. Ron Gage and his partner Henry McKinnon said they didn't see it coming. By the way, Prime Rib is a restaurant where the men have to wear blazers. Okay, so you have to wear a blazer. You can't come in with no jeans allowed for women. When it came to dessert, we asked for 1 sundae with 2 spoons, according to Gage. The server said he would bring it in separate dishes. He said it wouldn't look right with 2 gentlemen eating out of the same sundae. It doesn't go with the ambiance of the restaurant. Gage goes on to say, we were speechless. We nodded. We weren't expecting it. Okay, do you think that he's referring to the 2 of them being gay, like being a gay couple?
Well, I think in this climate, it's hard to say. I think we're all super sensitive about when people say things like that to us. I would have popped off in the moment, but I think it's probably important to talk that through with that restaurant because I can see them, totally being like that because they actually gave me a blazer when I was there.
Right, they will. They'll give you a blazer.
I just had a flashback. I'm like, wait a minute, they gave me a blazer.
Here's my issue with this. Okay, so I went to this restaurant. Dan and I went to this restaurant, Marcel's in D.C., which is this high-end French restaurant, right? It's absolutely amazing. It's delicious, but when we went, we usually go to restaurants and we order different things and then we share it, right?
Yeah.
So we ordered 2 different entrees, and then we each had a couple bites, and we were going to trade. So we went to trade plates, and the waiter immediately came over, and they were like, no. We do not, you don't exchange plates here. That's not this kind of restaurant. If you guys want to try something, you both want to try a thing, we'll bring them out in separate plates. But I wasn't offended by that. I felt like that was the ambiance
Sure.
of the restaurant,
Yeah.
right? We're like tacky redneck people that didn't realize you're at a 5-star, French restaurant. And
Yeah.
he came right over and he was very... I mean, I wouldn't call him nice about it, but I understood their process. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't know. I thought that story got way out of hand this week. I'm like... I feel like it goes with the ambiance. Like the guy's saying to you, 2 gentlemen
Sure.
don't share. It's like tacky
Absolutely.
redneck American.
And I can get with that.
Okay, good.
I
So
can get with
am
that.
I actually right on this one?
I think you're right. Yeah, I do.
Anyway, I
do.
thought that was. I just thought that was
I
crazy.
mean, and they're on K Street in D.C. They're a staple in D.C. The Prime Rib. I mean, it would be pretty difficult to be homophobic. I mean, not saying that you couldn't be, but it would be hard to kind of
right, all these years
be
later
here
that
this
they're
many
really
years, yeah.
homophobic. How do you feel about this new app? You've been in the marketing world. You're so good at marketing and PRing yourself. But there's a new app out called Circus, and it's an emerging app that allows restaurants and businesses to quickly manufacture their ideal crowd and pay people to stand in line like extras on a movie set. So, when you would go to a neighborhood restaurant or you walk by like
Sure.
your neighborhood restaurant and you see a line of people, essentially this article is saying you no longer can expect those people to actually genuinely be there by word of mouth for the buzz.
Okay.
Because what Circus will do is pay people to stand in line, to download your podcast, to engage with you the way that you want. And they're saying that this could kill the PR world. Because instead of hiring a PR person, you hire Circus the app.
Yeah, but they don't
bring
come
people
back
in.
though. The whole thing about PR is getting people that will come, they'll see it, they'll tell their friends, they'll come back and they'll become customers.
But if your business picked an audience of beautiful people,
You got to keep paying them. It's almost like when you get a really hot girl, like if you're a guy that wants a girl and you go out and you get this hot girl and you spoil her, the first date, oh baby, let me take you out. I'm going to get you, you can have chicken and shrimp. You know what I mean? You bring her flowers, you take her to the Hyatt, to the penthouse. There's no place else to go there but downhill. If you pay them the first time, you're going to have to keep paying them to come back.
That is true.
So you don't think that it attracts then other people?
It's just a flash in the pan. It's a moment.
It's a moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then when those people stop going, people say, oh, this place isn't cool anymore.
Interesting. He
It
says
used to
that
be hot.
it's going to revolutionize the PR and marketing business. He says that people are drawn to places with other good-looking people. And instead of hiring a PR person, if you hire them repeatedly, they bring beautiful people in that will attract others. They also, they claim they have an actual algorithm to it. I don't know if that's true or not. But they pair companies with the right audience. And if successful, those people also will post it on their social media and it would attract other people like them.
Okay.
Circus is the app. I'm tempted to try
I mean,
it.
I'm interested in it, but I just think that, there's things that you can give people. You can give them a free cocktail, you can do things like that. But I just think any new spot, it's just hard to pay the people that come to look good
No, I think you're right.
consistently.
Tiger Woods, you heard this week, sicked his lawyers on a website that released nude photos of Tiger Woods, as well as Miley Cyrus, Kristen Stewart, Stella Maxwell, and others. I want to show you these because I actually really enjoy the website B Scott. Do you ever go on her site? Yeah, it's really she'll like post things that you shouldn't actually post, which I really appreciate. So I just don't believe. Okay, there's no way.
That's not her.
This is not safe for work.
That's not her. Are you trying
Let me
to
see.
That's Photoshop.
Oh, you know what?
Wait. All right, hold on. I'll
see.
find. First of all, there's no way that's her.
She looks great. Whoever that is.
Whoever that is, but it's not.
Whoever that is looks fantastic.
Oh, I feel like they probably had to take this down off her website. I'll keep looking. But anyway, Tiger Woods, this is what kills me. So apparently this was a hacking thing again. And the first guy that hacked, remember when Jennifer Lawrence and everybody came out? Well, that guy's going to jail. He's in jail for like 2 years, right, for that.
Yeah.
So they're going to get to the bottom of who did this hack. But they released, it just blows my mind. Why are you, Tiger Woods, taking nude photos? Lindsey Vonn, Kristen Stewart. Don't you realize in this day and age you're such a target?
You mean to tell me that we can figure out who hacked these celebrities' phones for their pictures, but we can't figure out who hacked the DNC's emails? What the fuck is going on? What is going on?
Well, I think we do know. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz is like hiding a laptop somewhere. So it's like
Jesus.
basically that's like the reason. Anyway, I wanted to show you them because I just didn't know if I wanted to see, I feel like, Paul, you'd be able to identify if it was really Tiger Woods' body.
Okay.
you know?
Well, I'd be mad if my situation didn't look right. I mean, if you catch me in a good night, good angle, it's nice and like temperature is about 75, everything is hanging right. Do you know what I mean? Not like 62 in the house and everything's all pulled up. I might let you run it. Go on and run it.
Because if you think about it, remember Tiger Woods did have the whole.
Oh wait, hold on, hon. You know what? If you're gonna talk, we got to figure out. I got to figure out actually if you are on.
I was saying with Tiger Woods, the fact that he slept with how many women? Like 50 women. Obviously, he has to be packing. Or he
I don't know.
or he lost a lot of
He
money.
had a lot of money.
Maybe he lost
yeah.
a lot of money. So that means if you actually see what he's working with, and if it's not an eggplant, we're looking at like a bottom of little peas. What are we gonna do?
Well, money's the great equalizer. It really doesn't matter.
By the way, this is Danny, who's a longtime fan and listener, and you came and co-hosted actually with me.
She did.
When we were we were in between Paul. So thank you for joining. So if you pop in and out, let me know, okay? Because we just have to either pot you up or pot you down. Working with something pretty good there, actually. That's why I wanted you to confirm, but I'll have to find him.
Who am I, the dick whisperer?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you checking him in his golf pants, Sarah? Like when he was like teeing up and stuff?
No, none of these pictures have like Lindsey Vonn or Tiger Woods' face, which I feel like obviously, okay, smart, right? They're not going to put their faces. But then at the same time, I'm like, is that really them? Because they're like completely like, she's like bent over, like spreading. I'm like, are you really doing that? What are you doing?
But why do we care anymore about?
Oh, well, I'm
that
obsessed with
situation?
nude pictures. Don't you want to know, like, what they... I don't know. I love
Not unless
nudes.
I want to have sex with them. I don't really care.
Oh, all right. Okay, maybe it's just me. I enjoy a celebrity sex tape. Don't you want to know if you're making love like the stars? I do.
Oh.
Sorry.
I never thought about it that way.
But, anyway, the other story I wanted to get to and find out, and Danny and Joelle, we're surrounded by millennials on this show.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, Business Insider just came out with the businesses that millennials are killing. So I just want to go like rapid fire through 5.
Okay.
And find out if you guys really are not into these items or if you are. So they say millennials are killing cereal. 40% of millennials surveyed said cereal was an inconvenient breakfast choice, mostly because they're eating on the run. Is that true?
No.
You guys eat cereal or not? As AJ, your mic's on too. As a millennial,
I eat cereal all the time. I mean, what can you do faster than cereal? A cereal bar?
okay. Well, that's
I don't
good.
agree with that.
Joelle?
I eat cereal like 3 times a day. So I eat cereal all day long.
Well,
yeah.
this is, okay.
Even I knew that.
What about this one? Golf. They say that millennials are not into golf. Anybody have
It
any
takes too
interest?
long.
in
I
becoming-
live next to a golf course, and it's the most boring thing I think I've ever watched in my life.
All right, perfect.
I'm
She's-
not a golfer, but I know I have a lot of friends that live in upstate New York, and that's all they do. All the teens.
Gosh.
What about this one? Bars of soap. Danny, you use a bar of soap.
Yeah, I use that Dove.
Get that
I
shit
use
out my
that Dove
face. I'm only chilling with Dove body wash with the
money?
scrub beads.
Right.
Don't throw a bar of
I'm
soap
all
on me now.
about that Bath and Body Works.
I know. I'm like, also liquid fabric softener. Do you guys use it? Do you guys even do your own laundry? They say millennials are not even. They don't even know what liquid
Yeah, of
fabric
course they do
softener
their own
are.
laundry.
Throw black and whites in the same one. Put
Yeah.
cold water on. You're ready to go.
Wait, black and white's in the same? No.
Yeah, put cold water.
Use the Shout color catcher. There you go.
What? You have to separate.
And they say lastly on the list is handbags, which I thought was super disappointing. So millennials are no longer into designer handbags. Is that true?
That
Because
is so
we
not
can't
true.
afford
I
it.
just bought myself a Tory Burch bag.
Millennials are rich.
Well,
Oh
for the
my
rest
God.
of us.
Anyway, so I wanted to find out your thoughts. AJ, though, has all the news and pop culture on the show, and she has so many good stories that we need to discuss today. So,
Hi, AJ.
Why don't we just-
Hi guys, congrats
to
on
you.
200.
Thank you.
First and foremost, we're
We
all
don't
gonna
look
be
a
there.
day over 50, right?
You're real honest to God. I mean, it's probably your skincare that's keeping it all together, right? It's keeping it tight. And Dr. Ruff. So we have so much
I know
today.
that.
I mean, I couldn't even condense it into 3, so we're just kind of going to do a rapid fire of like a bunch of stories.
Okay.
Fantastic.
The first one's being called an unfortunate coincidence, and the coincidence is a name.
Okay.
So 2 weeks ago, Charlottesville, whole big thing, taking down Confederate monuments. Robert E. Lee was the name.
right.
Now there's I don't know if you guys heard this story. An ESPN announcer, a sports announcer, is now being called off the bench or the announcing stand because his name is Robert Lee, and they're worried it's going to cause controversy. What do you guys think? What if
I think it's totally ridiculous.
ridiculous?
Outrageously ridiculous.
To me, and Paul, you've worked in the media business for a long time, but I think this is so what happens to big. So ESPN, obviously,
ESPN.
they're the ones that pulled this off for this University of Virginia. It was like their home opener, right?
It was a William and Mary game in Virginia.
So
First Virginia, yeah, right.
being in media, to me, this is a very typical media move, right?
Brash reaction. Yeah.
Reaction, because I think lots of times the management in media, it becomes like they overthink it, and they just aren't in touch, I feel like, with viewers. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? So I felt like it was just such a bad move.
They're just
Then
in touch with each other.
They're causing more attention. I don't really think anybody would
Unfortunately,
really
yeah.
bring this out of proportion and say, they're thinking there's going to be memes and he's going to be all over the internet. Like, how could they?
That's better for the ratings. I mean, listen, I just think it's absolutely absurd. And this man probably has fans or people that have followed him and
Right.
supported him because he's been doing it for a long time, right?
He's actually a new up and coming.
Now, are there
He's a
other
younger
people that have? Was there ever an Adolf out there? I mean, are there other people with the same
Right, what if your
name
name
as
was
someone?
Adolf
Hitler?
Right.
Right.
I don't know if there's ever been an
I don't know
Adolf
if there's
Hitler
I don't know if there's a Hitler, but I mean, there
But your
must be
name
an
could be
Adolf.
Yeah, but the
Gotta
problem
be.
is it was like the Robert Lee. I mean, all you gotta
Yeah,
do
but
is
that's
like
a lot of people's
Virginia.
names. That's like John Smith. Come on.
Robert Lee. He's also Asian, you know what I mean? So Lee is a typically
Oh,
very
you
Asian.
didn't say that part. No, just kidding. Well, of course his last name is Lee.
Anyway, this morning I woke up and ESPN was getting trolled. I was like, oh, God, what a bad...
I know.
I don't know.
It's
It's
just
like
an-
survey somebody outside of your building before you make that call. You know what I
Right.
mean? If they hadn't even... Which, by the way, just a side note, is anyone else wondering, like, we live in D.C., what's going to happen to Robert E. Lee's house? They've taken down all the
Right.
statues. Are we going to burn the house down? Do we keep the house? What do we do with the house? I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Because, Robert E. Lee's home is also Arlington National Cemetery. So that's where several people are...
Oh, yes, the home of Robert E. Lee.
Thousands of soldiers are buried there.
Buried there.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Do we boycott Robert E. Lee's home, but then we're paying for it by taxpayers? I don't know. I'm so confused. What do we do with Robert E. Lee's house?
It's a whole other
Why
thing.
hasn't there been a boycott? I'm thinking of going up there.
I don't know. I actually worked at Arlington National Cemetery during college.
Oh, wow.
For the summer. Like
This
in the
past
tours.
summer?
No, like when I was an undergrad. So I did it during the summer sessions. Like I sold tickets for the tour, and people from all over the world come to Arlington National Cemetery. First of all, they think Robert E. Lee's house is the White House. That's a little confusing, especially.
Oh, jeez.
But it's owned.
Is this the White House? It's yellow. It's yellow.
But it's
isn't
owned
it-
by
don't
the
they-
park police. Like the park police, takes
Right.
care of it, shuts it down. The slave quarters are still there. It's very
What?
historic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So people take a tour and you actually learn from it. It needs to stay.
Okay.
I feel like
Okay.
it needs to stay.
Yeah, okay.
They're about to get about 25 Robert E. Lee statues. You're going to see him in all kinds of different forms.
Sure.
On the horse, off the horse, eye plucked out from the kids. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, go on. That was a side note. I just keep thinking, when are they going to burn the house down or something?
That's a whole other controversy.
Yeah.
So many different things. So I'm just going to end with a quote from them and then we'll move on. ESPN said, "We collectively made the decision with Robert to switch games as the tragic events in Charlottesville, yada, yada. And Lee's very happy to switch games. So he's now going to be on a different game and they just put in another announcer. So he's not losing any.
Oh, okay.
Any showing,
I thought they were
but-
pulling him all together.
Yeah.
No, and if I were him, I would sue. It's like,
I'd be
hey,
like,
look,
screw you
assholes,
guys, just because my
can't-
name.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, talk about discrimination.
Right.
You're discriminating against an Asian man who has just as much credibility to be there broadcasting with these two other guys.
Exactly.
And you're not going to use me because of my name? I mean, I hope that guy sues. It's like, that's the dumbest move I've ever heard.
He's trying to keep his job, Sarah. You talking about
Extra.
sue.
Robert Lee.
You know, if I were
guys,
him,
it
I
sounds
would
good to
sue.
me.
I'm like,
Right.
you would. Look.
The problem
That's
is,
part of that white privilege we were talking about. I would never even look. If I sue, that's it. It's look, me and you.
you would sue. I mean, come on. You
I would
can't-
sue when I'm ready to roll.
Well, I mean, who's going to hire the guy now? I mean, they basically brought up an issue that wasn't an issue, tainted his name. I mean, can you imagine? Everywhere now that guy goes,
He
they're
can't go
basically
anywhere.
gonna
He's
go-
stuck.
Exactly.
Right. So he can't sue.
I think anybody would. Anyone would sue. It's like,
All right, I got
Damn.
another story that I think was blown way out of proportion. I think I expected way too much out of this. It was the Monday eclipse. I thought it was gonna be
Right.
blackout. I thought people would be running
Sure.
down the street, and I'm sitting there at a watch party, and I'm like, oh my god, did it happen? I put my glasses back on.
what? You didn't love it?
Oh, I thought it was really cool, but I kept on looking at it, and then by the time I looked back, it was over.
Oh,
No, I
thought
loved
was
it, but
amazing.
I thought it was gonna get a little bit darker. Was that just me?
You thought like
Oh,
the
no, I
whole
thought it
area
was as well.
I knew it wasn't gonna be blackout, but I mean, it was still really sunny.
But I think it was legitimately a rainstorm. I don't think anything happened because it started raining afterwards. I was like, oh, so that was rain coming.
Oh my my God. I thought there was going to be something else. But I got some numbers for you guys. 5.1 million viewers watched the solar eclipse on Monday.
Loved it.
Netflix usage actually dropped 10% during the solar eclipse. So people actually were like, hey, let me pay attention to something else.
5.1 million viewers watched it on TV.
5.1.
Watched it where? Like
This
outside?
was on, this was on TV, but I don't think they can't know about it. So way more millions of
Everybody
people.
was like outside.
Everybody was up,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
I was near Thomas Circle, and it was just covered in people.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
actually surprisingly really cool, like with the glasses. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
people made all these cereal boxes where you like looked into the cereal box and it was reflected back.
That was really cool.
And I was like, damn, that actually works.
Actually worked.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, they literally put foil over like Cheerios boxes and like pasta boxes, and I'm like,
You
what
could
is that?
take a cereal box. Anyway, you cut it out. You put a piece of tinfoil on it. Long story short, but when you looked into it, it would reflect back, and you would see the half moon like kind of closing in. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And for something that only happens once every 100 years, I was like, that's pretty cool because probably we're not going to be here for the next one.
I thought I remember. Probably not.
I know.
I thought I remember having an eclipse in my lifetime. No.
Well, no, we've had partial eclipse.
Okay.
You have many partial eclipse, but you don't usually have a full-on eclipse like with the sun and the moon so close to the
Okay.
Earth. That was
The
basically
last
that.
one that was coast to coast was in 1917, and the next one is going to be in
God.
2024. So we're not, it's only
Wow.
seven years away. This next one's actually not that far away.
Okay, I'm gonna holler at that one.
So right, if you missed this one, catch it in 7 years. You guys are
You
fine.
know, I
Oh, good.
looked
Thank
up
you.
from my
For
window
correcting
up
me.
to the sky a little. I mean, just a little bit to see like where the sun was, and I thought I hurt my eyes. Of course, it could have been in my head. I'm a total hypochondriac.
Oh, I looked up at the sun. This
I'm
brings me
like,
to my
my
meme of the
eyes.
week. I have a meme of the
Yeah.
week, guys. It's Trump looking up into the sun. Hilarious memes.
He didn't give a shit.
He did not give a shit. He's like, what glasses? Glasses. I was going to go into a whole...
She does the most amazing Donald Trump impression.
I was going to go into it and I was going to read the meme, but I'm going to show you guys the meme. It's basically just all over.
Yeah,
All
he
over
doesn't
social
even,
media. Of course, now I can't open it up.
he doesn't
Hilarious.
even
I'm gonna put
need
it's
them.
gonna be on the blog, but it's just Trump looking up. He did use the glasses for the whole first half, and then we have people outside.
Yes, they're
We have
waving through the
people
window.
waving.
Hi guys, it's our 200th episode of our podcast. Thank you. What are your names?
Jonelle.
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 Janelle
Joy.
Joy.
and Joy.
Asia.
Kanasia? My niece's name, Anasia. So listen, I'm inviting y'all somewhere. Tomorrow, from 5 to 7, we are having a Hey Frase pop-up happy hour right at Whitlow's, right?
Whitlow's on Wilson, right down here.
Okay.
Yeah,
From 5
come.
to 7. Come have a couple of cocktails with
Yes,
us.
I definitely will.
And download us, listen to us on Spotify.
Yes. Got it.
Y'all are so cute.
Yes, you guys are really cute.
We're going to post your picture up on our social media.
Thanks for
We got
coming
you
in.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye, guys. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.
Amazing.
Okay,
We got
so
street fans.
I know street fans. That's what this podcast
Perks
does.
of having this window right here.
I know the podcast. People love like coming in. Yeah, they come right in.
So we got
what
memes
else?
from this. We got
Okay.
babies. Babies are being named after the eclipse. There's a couple. The baby was born literally right when the eclipse was happening at the moment, and they named her Eclipse.
Oh my God, I love
They named her
that.
Eclipse.
Do you remember the Mitsubishi
South Carolina
Eclipse?
couple.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
having a
car.
flashback.
There were weddings during Eclipse, and everybody got
Oh.
glasses as like a little party saver. And they did the vows right at the time. And then after they did, like, you know, you're now husband and wife. Everybody looked up with the glasses on, and it was like a moment to be remembered.
It was
Beautiful.
So, okay, so the next one will be in 7 years.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be not a coast to coast one, but just an eclipse. Now the coast to
I
coast one
gotcha.
rarely happens, and when it's like the whole path of totality,
That's
that whole
amazing.
thing. I read all about it.
Good.
But I
Thank
was kind of a
God.
nerd about it, but
You
I was
read,
really excited.
So we don't have to.
Love it. Love it.
And don't forget, everyone, get your jackpot tickets tonight. They're now
Oh, shit.
700 million. This is the second largest ever.
I'm going.
Have you?
How many are you
Paul,
gonna
how
get?
have you not?
I don't know. I was reading, so AJ had sent all of her prep to us beforehand, and you were saying that the chances are what? 1 in 242 million?
Yeah, how did you know? Yeah, 1 in 292 million.
1 in 10. I think I'll probably buy 5.
Now, do you
and
do
just
random or do you pick your own numbers?
I'll random pick. I mean, are you like? I don't normally play the lottery. Do you?
No.
I don't.
But
I
I'd
don't
like
either.
to. I'm going to today.
I mean, I will today too. I'll absolutely play. I always play when it gets big, which is what the opposite
what would
strategy.
you do? What would be the first thing you do with the money?
Yeah, I want to ask you guys, what would you do with the money?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about it. I guess everybody.
Think about it.
like,
You got $700 million. That's 700 million options.
I got some advice for you.
You do? What would it be?
Some financial planners say whoever wins tonight's Powerball jackpot should immediately move to Puerto Rico. Federal income tax is only 4%.
Really?
Oh well, then
Put
we're
all your
moving
money
there.
in Swiss bank accounts.
Is that illegal?
Hide
This is some shitty. This is like some bad advice.
Yeah, this is some shady ass
Well,
advice.
would
that I
you
got
still
from Frase.
work? Would you still do the podcast if you had $700 million?
Yeah, you got to remain
You
normal.
have a lot of new friends.
You got to remain normal, and you got to try to remain anonymous, because all they do is share those stories of people that win the lottery and then they're broke 5 years later.
Sure.
Like they got nothing left.
Yeah.
You got to like keep on keeping the normalcy to
I'd
keep
give
the
it a
money.
good run for about 3 months. I'd try to put a dent in it, but then I'd
If you
come back
don't
down.
show up next Wednesday, we know why. Like you have won. You're out.
Got this cough. It's going to linger
God.
for the
They
next
say,
30 years.
You're out.
38% of people would rather win the lottery than find the love of their life.
Really?
That's tough.
38%. That's pretty huge. And
Would you rather marry Dan or win the Powerball?
Well, of course, win the Powerball. He feels the same. I mean, yeah. You're talking 700 million? Yeah, please. Dan? Who? What? Yeah. He'd be like, give me $5 billion, I'm out too. Like, I'd be like, bye, boo.
I love it.
No,
I
I love him.
that's amazing. What else do I have? 3% of people would dump a spouse for $10,000.
Oh, God, that's not enough.
What? They dumped their spouse for 10 grand? That's it?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous number.
95% of Powerball tickets are computer generated. So the quick
The
picks,
ones that win, right?
no, just in general. Like a lot of people always do the quick. I do
Yeah,
quick
now
picks
the
because I hear
ones
so
that
many people
win,
win.
you have the stats on that? The ones that
The
have
ones that
actually
actually-
won? Are they all computer generated?
I see. I never have those type of stats. I have the stats that are halfway there, and it's people. Someone asked me another question. I'm like, yeah, I don't got that. I missed the mark on that one.
Oh my God! Well, anyway, it's a great thing to fantasize about, right?
I mean,
It is,
I'll
it is.
participate at 700 million. Why not?
700 mil. Why
Yeah, we
not?
gotta go
Add
for
to
it.
the cause.
I
All right,
wanna
guys.
help a lot of people. Yeah.
I love ya. 200 episode. Be there tomorrow.
Whitlow's on Wilson, 5 to
Whitlow's
7
on
p.m.
Wilson.
That's going to be so much
5 to
fun.
7.
We got a $100 bar tab to go through. So there's $3 like Miller Lights,
Yeah,
Bud
everything
Lights.
is like 50 cents, right?
And look,
Crazy, we're all going to be drunk.
Everything's $2 for our 200th anniversary.
and I have the
Thanks,
weirdest
AJ.
work schedule. Thank you guys.
Where can people find you, by the way, and follow you?
At the Andrea J. Lopez.
Love
I
it.
love it.
Be
You
sure to
are
follow her there.
fantastic.
Thank you, Paul.
You look great. You smell great. I just adore
mean-
sitting next to you.
Love it.
do. I love it.
Tomorrow is my day off, guys. I never get a day off in any type sort of way.
Oh.
So Thursday and Friday are my day off, and then I'm back on the grind on Saturday. So you know my drunk ass will be there tomorrow.
All right, good. Well, there's a couple of stories you can weigh in on that we didn't get to. One of them,
I'm excited,
I
yeah.
wanted to hear your opinions on this. The Catholic priest. This
Yes.
story made national news, but he's actually local. But a priest has come out and basically says that he's stepping down after revealing that he was a KKK member decades ago. And Paul, you were asking this question, which I thought was a good one. Is this? By the way, this priest like came out himself. It wasn't like he was outed or someone, at least that we know of,
Right.
wasn't being like blackmailed to come out. Like he basically goes, look.
But he probably knew someone was hot on his trail, though. That's
You
usually
think?
when you come out about stuff. Yeah.
So 40 years ago, William Atchison was a University of Maryland student and a KKK member who burned a cross in the front yard of a black newlywed couple's home. He was sentenced to jail time and ordered to pay $20,000 to the family. Then he says that God changed his heart. Atchison went on to attend seminary in Rome, was ordained as a Catholic priest. He returned to the East Coast and served at several Virginia parishes, including most recently at St. Leo in Fairfax, and he's been there for 4 years. He says seeing the recent images from the deadly white supremacist and white nationalist rally in Charlottesville spurred him to make a confession of his own. He wrote an essay that he publicly posted in the Arlington Catholic Herald this week about his KK involvement. And he's stepping down. So what do you...
I think he
what
should have
do you think?
stayed. I think he should have, admitting it is fine. But
Right.
why, after all those years, love and forgiveness and, isn't that what he's based on?
Well, don't you feel like, too, so many people could learn from him? Like, that have hate in
Absolutely.
their hearts and then
Did
sort
he
of
say
turn it
40
around?
years ago?
40 years ago,
Oh,
yes.
God, it's time to move on. I mean, forgive the man. If he truly feels like he's changed and God changed his heart and he did the work.
Don't you think that weighs on you though? Like, you know what I mean? Like you almost, like we were talking about, what would we confess today? It's our 200th,
Right.
show. Like what would we confess on the show? And I mean, I feel like I share everything. I'm trying to think. My only things that I don't share are things that would affect other people that I
sure.
love that have asked me not to share them. You know what I mean? But I've participated, so I would love to share those, but they don't feel the same.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I can't share those. But anything about myself, I'm trying to think. You have anything you want to confess?
Oh, God, this is so funny. You bring up a
Besides your
priest.
sex tape.
What did you say?
Well, I was going to say, yeah, he did already.
I
tell
know.
us.
I told you. I
The sex
screwed
tape was
Elmo.
big.
I told you. Wait, did I tell you about the fake ecstasy thing that I took
Yeah.
that time? I mean, I've kind of done a lot, but I feel like it should come up organically. I don't know.
I know, me neither. I really don't. I try to share everything I can. But I thought that story was an interesting one. Atchison is 62 years old now, and he says, when I think back on burning crosses, a threatening letter, and so on, I feel as though I'm speaking of somebody else. It's hard to believe that was me. Atchison served with the Catholic Church in Nevada before being transferred to Arlington. And he was ordained in 1988. I thought that was pretty brave to come out. And I feel like a lot of people can learn from that story. Very sad that, people harbor that. But anyway, I'm sure it's very therapeutic to...
I'll confess something.
Ooh!
I'll confess something. Well, it's not like...
Sarah's like, maybe if I keep talking, he'll give us
juicy.
something.
It's not so juicy, but it's like a continuation of something that I've shared with the viewers, the listeners. And they actually, one of the listeners tweeted me the other day to say she was listening to episode 178, and how's Michael? Well, I have to confess something. I have to confess that, I think about him all the time, and it's really blocking me from moving forward seriously in other relationships. So for people that don't know, the person that I saw for a long time, and he lived in Ireland. We dated when I was in my early 20s in New York City, and then he lived with me in New York. But we've kept in contact all these years, and we talk every day. And then last June, he went out, he drank, and he got drunk. He threw up in his mouth, he choked, and then he was in a coma for 4 months. And now he's basically been he's not vegetative, he's awake, but he can't speak. He has only use of his left arm. He can't speak, and he doesn't, really, people don't know if he can recognize them or whatever is going on. But it's like I had this fear of going to visit.
What's the fear? I feel like we might have touched on this, but what is the fear of going?
Well, what I think it is that I remember him with so much life. Fun. And it's so crazy. I just had a total meltdown yesterday because I would go through my voicemail messages.
Right.
And I didn't realize that, I guess every now and again they delete themselves or whatever.
Oh, sure. If you leave them long
too
enough.
long, but I play it. But anyway, so the one that I play, I went to go find it and it wasn't there. And I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. That was my last voicemail message, So, but I think that when I had that moment yesterday, I think I made the decision that I will go see him, because some of my friends have said, don't go, you just need to move on with your life. That's done. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I feel that I should go. So I contacted, for some reason his family has not been responding to me.
Right, we remember that. Yeah, and then you reached out to a friend, right? And that guy did write you back and basically said, did he say that he thought Michael would want to see you?
He
and
did.
Michael was kind of doing better?
He did. And then so when I contacted the guy yesterday, he said that, Michael's family has confessed that they feel like the reason why he's there in this nursing home in this state is because he is gay. So, so the family has basically forbid this other guy to go see him.
Yes, I remember you. Yes, you were telling me this.
But this just happened.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought there was something about that. Maybe I thought that they were funny.
Yeah, I was like, why aren't they calling me back? It's so weird. So anyway, the guy's like, well, you can come and we can, the family goes in the morning, we can go in the afternoon. I was like, look, if I come over there, I'm coming up and through there, okay? Yeah. I don't care who's up in there, because that family knows me and they know how special he is to me. So I believe I will go in September.
Right.
And I want to do this before my big birthday in October. I want to have that moment, redefine the relationship, in my head, meet him where he is, tell him that I love him, and then, then I will move on.
Yeah, it's a
big
year.
But I think it's been a block. I really do. And it's made me a little I'll have swings of up and down. Do you know what I mean?
Then I think you really should go. Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Sounds like it's time to really...
I'm going to go. So that's my confession. So I do my big, good morning, everybody. But sometimes I'm just not feeling that way. And I want to get back to that, because this is weighing more and more on me.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I feel like that is really...
And I'm also fearful something will happen to him in all this time I've waited,
Yeah.
Because, it's hard to be in this state just, infinitely. I don't know what's going on with his health. So I just want to go and I want to figure that out.
Right.
And people are like, that's such a major trip, but I think it's worth it. I mean, would you go after that long?
Yeah, I think you should, only because it keeps weighing on your mind. And, you know, you and I have talked about, I mean, I'm the same way. I have things in my past that, like, keep coming up, you know, and you go to therapy to deal with that, or you try and talk to the person about it. So I think it's worth, even if who knows, maybe you don't even see Michael when you go. You don't know what his family's going through, what their feelings are towards Michael, you know, and you don't know. I feel like, too, you don't always know the inner workings of, like, what Michael might have been doing or been like with them right before the incident. So, but I think going will bring some sort of resolution.
Sure.
And I think for you, because you have such a great heart, so I think even the peace of mind knowing that you went and tried will probably be enough for you to go, you know what, I did everything I could. And, you know, it's hard. It's hard to see people in our lives get sick or deteriorate. But I think for you, it would close that chapter because it seems to come back up. So
it does come back up. And I feel like, because I love this podcast so much and the people, like, I'm a little emotionally hungover today. Do you know what I mean? So I'm, like, not really able to do all that, like, cartwheeling and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not in this today, but I'm thrilled that this is our 200th episode, and I'm thrilled that we're having this happy hour tomorrow, but I'm a little, like, the human side is like, ugh.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
but I think that's great that you're honest about that, because, you know, it's hard to always be up and happy. And don't you think, too, like, part of the journey in life is, like, learning that, you know, it's hard for us. And I think I'm way more of a recluse than you are, but you must feel pressure all the time to be on. I always want for you to not feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think I do, but I enjoy making people laugh and having fun and being the good time guy, because people really are having a moment right now in life. Like, we're unsure about,
it's scary.
You know, walking down the street, who's our friend, who's our enemy, like, where are we safe, like, you know, that whole thing. So I enjoy having those moments where we just cut loose and laugh and have a good time. But, you know, real life will sneak up on you. Yeah. And so some things you do have to deal with. And someone was saying to me yesterday, like, you should try therapy. And I said, black folks don't go to therapy. Like, I was having a joke. Obviously, we go to therapy. But I thought about you, and I said, maybe I will, because I've never gone to a therapist.
Oh, my God. I couldn't survive without one. You know, because it's hard. It's hard to navigate things. And you know, I mean, I've shared things with you personally that I don't always want to put out on this show because of, you know, I don't know how the other people are going to react. And so, and there's some things I can say and can't say, but therapy helps me through all that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And find out what you need to keep you healthy.
Absolutely. So this 200 is a very special, it's a very important number, and it's making me kind of want to fix a few things that I feel like I need to fix in my life.
Year.
And this is one of them. But I'm thrilled to be going forward with you and with these listeners, and I think it's great. I love you guys. Thanks for listening to me.
Well, two more stories. People love when you go. People love that. I was just with Lowe's at Wilson. We're going there, and this guy Mark, who's hooked up the whole situation, was like, "Oh my God, I love the show with Paul." And
that's great.
And I think too, like, and I want to say this because I'm sure people will. And you were there when Sammy was there, and I'm very grateful for where Sammy brought it. And you were kind of there from the start, and you would sort of jump in and co-host with us. And so I love that you have stepped in and people love you just as much. You know,
absolutely.
I think that's really awesome.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh, I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful, but I think there is a slight bit of guilt when I don't feel totally on, you know, like, oh, wait, they didn't laugh today, or, you know, because I know people use this show as a release. You know what I mean? And I want to be that for them, and it is authentic.
Right.
You know, 99.9% of the time.
Sure, for anybody it's tough.
Right.
You know, you come in.
Right.
Well, two more stories we can get to, and then last week I did a puppy happy hour podcast with some great local bloggers. There's a woman that runs at Dining Traveler, at Spicy Candy DC, and Hangry District is also the website, and it's this woman Michelle runs it. But anyway, the 3 women were really cool because they talked about why women of color need to be blogging more, which I thought was a great discussion. They talked about the next big trend for bloggers and podcasters, which I thought was awesome. And then the Hangry District woman talked about the most overrated restaurant in DC, which I thought was great. So if you're a local DC person, I think you'll find it. So we'll air that at the end of the show. But 2 other quick stories that you and I were talking about. So are you surprised to hear, Paul, that the waiting industry, the food industry, has the most alcoholics? There's a new article out, Why Waiters Drink and Why It Matters. And it basically says the service industry of bartenders, waitresses, waiters is becoming more and more prevalent as fewer and fewer Americans want to cook in. But the issue is that it has the highest percentage of alcoholics in the business. And they say not only that, but the part of it stems from that almost alcoholism is contagious in these environments.
Okay.
So a lot of the time you have a bar manager or restaurant manager who's an alcoholic, and then you're more likely to be one.
Sure.
Do you know anybody in the business that has that?
Lots. And I can see how that could happen. And listen, you have people coming into these restaurants that have such a high expectation, completely unreasonable sometimes expectation of how they should be served and what's right to them and what, and they don't realize at home, like, you don't get all that. And of course I know they're coming out, they're paying their money, but I hear it because I'm out a lot. And I hear people just with their expectations, they got these people running back and forth. And of course, afterwards they're always like, I need a drink. And I totally get it.
Right. You have a 20%, nearly 20% of all workers in the food industry are either alcoholics or using some sort of substance, they say. That percentage is especially jarring when you consider that the restaurant industry is the second largest private sector employer. They say it's also a misconception that restaurants are staffed by college students and 20-somethings, making it easy to pass off substance abuse as a result of unmotivated employees or immaturity of a younger workforce. They say that's not true. More and more people in their 30s and 40s are career waiters and waitresses who have serious issues.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'd be curious. People, we love when you send us your feedback on the show. So email Sarah at heyfrase.com, Paul Wharton-Style at yahoo.com. I bet there's a lot of people that listen to this in the waiting business.
Absolutely.
I'd be curious to find out.
Absolutely.
Lastly, a pastor says that he was hacked, that he did not message on Nicki Minaj's Instagram that he wants to eat her booty.
Did he write booty?
Yeah, quote, I'd love to eat your booty was what he put on it. William Henry Dewberry III is a pastor at Church of God in Christ in Memphis, Tennessee. He denies claims that he wrote explicit comments on an Instagram photo of Nicki Minaj. He went on to write that the account was an impersonator, and he wrote, quote, Saints, I need your help, he wrote on Facebook status, which he since made private. Somebody created a fake Instagram page under my name. The account has been active and used regularly since January 2016. Pastor Dewberry, that is suspect.
Right. Dewberry? Something ain't right.
You need to do better.
Something right.
Do better, Dewberry.
Do better, Dewberry. In another alleged incident, Dewberry verbally attacked a woman on the account, which was from a couple months ago. He hasn't addressed that one, but that's leading a lot of people to go, well, if you verbally attack this woman, chances are it might be you wanting to eat her ass. This is, by the way, this is a picture of her that he commented on, and her butt actually does look delicious. So.
That ass do look good.
Yeah. A lot of people...
Is that ass fake? Is that ass real?
Fake.
Yeah.
It's fake.
It's pretty fake.
It's pretty fake.
Yeah, I don't know. These pastors, they're certainly not the moral authority. I mean, by any means, a lot of these guys.
I thought you had a good reason for this. You said Ambien.
Oh, well, I was saying for me... I need a little help to go to sleep at night. So I take I split a 10 milligram Ambien. I split it in half. I take 5 milligrams. And I always split my Ambien. And then as I get a little sleepy, I hide all my phone. I put my, I don't hide it totally, but I put it out of reach.
I've never taken Ambien, but I've known a lot of people that have, and they all say the same thing, that you have to go immediately to bed. You can't, they'll shave themselves, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh my gosh. The things that I say to people, if they would call me and I answer the phone, it's like I start talking total gibberish. It's not good.
Really?
It's not good.
So you think he might have had an Ambien test?
He had a hit of Ambien, right? I mean, he could have.
And then that booty.
Right. You revealed the truth.
All right, we're going to get up next with this podcast interview of some local podcasters sharing their secrets, but also check out our partner, Pace the Nation podcast. They've got a great podcast all about running, fitness, health. You'll love these guys. We're fans. You can find them on iTunes. It's all by Pacers Running Store. runpacers.com/podcast, or like I said, you can just Google Pace the Nation for our pal Chris Farley and his buddy who do the podcast every week. Check them out.
Oh, I love you.
Love you guys.
Happy 200.
See you tomorrow at Whitlow's.
Whitlow's, thanks.
Bye.
Yes, be sure to come to Whitlow's on Wilson, 5 to 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And here's our blogger interview. So we're here tonight, and AJ is my co-host, who's amazing.
Hello, friends.
Are you also going to Snapchat in this too? Because you do great social media for me.
Yeah, we're snapping. We're doing it all.
Anyway, so you can follow some of these cool bloggers. They're unbelievable. I mean, they make my little piddly Instagram look like shit. And then Sebastian Loves Luna is like these dogs that they've got like 80,000 followers. And all
They're
they do,
insane.
they look like they're in love all the time. It's nuts.
They're the cutest dogs, and they're all dressed up. Oh my gosh.
You can follow at Swatch Room or at Maggie O'Neill, at Dining Traveler, at Chelsea Santa, and at Spicy Candy DC, and of course at Hey Frase. All right, Carla, sit on down.
That too.
Yeah.
Carla runs you have a very popular Instagram as well, and blog.
Yes, I have a lifestyle blog. See,
You've done a heck of a job to
Thank
grow your
you.
blog. What's people still want to get into blogging sometimes and podcasting. What's like the thing that people don't anticipate about your business when they go, hey, I'm going to start a blog, or I'm going to start,
I think it's being persistent. I think that a lot of people kind of get in it because it's fun. It is fun,
Right.
But it's also a lot of work to keep it. And you have to constantly be inspired by everything around you and come out with topics. And when you're a blogger or you have a podcast, as you know, you kind of do it all on your own. So
Yes.
I basically handle my social media. I do the writing. I come out with the creative projects that I do. So
What do you think the next trend is for I feel like fashion bloggers, since Instagram became huge, like it's just like fashion blogger. What do you think is the next big wave within the blogging community, podcasting, Instagram?
I think that a lot of people like to see behind the scenes and just kind of going live on anything. So I think that's the big thing. I think that with Instagram, you kind of filter a lot of things, but I think that people are kind of trying to figure out want to see what's real about you. So I feel like a lot of people are going to turn into like live Facebook, and I mean they're already doing it, but I think that people are always a bit more curious to kind of know who you really are behind that filter that you might put out there.
You are awesome. Spicy Candy DC. Follow
you.
Carla. She's an
Thank you.
incredible woman. Well, let's get Jessica on. She's like this woman already. Jessica, are you ready to go live on the podcast? Yeah. Okay, you can. Jessica, by the way, and she's got diningtraveler.com. You can follow her at Dining Traveler.
At Dining Traveler, yes.
These microphones are really funny. You have to be like right on it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Is that good?
Your daughter is so cute. How old is she?
9.5 months.
9.5 months. Dining Traveler is all about food and travel, right?
Food and travel, yes.
How long ago did you start yours?
I started blogging back in 2009, and I started an expat blog called Adventures of a Puerto Rican Girl in Brussels. And then
Because you were you born in Puerto Rico?
I was born in New York, raised in Puerto Rico, and I've just lived in a bunch of places. And it just so happens back in 2009 I was living in Belgium.
I love talking to women from different backgrounds. So you've also started kind of a women diversity, women of color.
Yeah,
Is that a blog, or what is that?
Well, soon. It will be soon a website, so I'm working on it right now. But back in 2015, I created a panel discussion called Women of Color Travel. And it was a combination of not only bloggers and journalists, but also women that are in the travel media, so PR, public relations, or people that represent destinations. And we had a panel talking about our experiences as women of color, and like how there's still a void on telling our stories, and there's a misconception that we don't travel.
Wow. Why is that, do you think?
I think just because, there's not, I'll give you an example. Like, I grew up in Puerto Rico. I'm actually writing a book about Puerto Rico. I pitch stories about Puerto Rico all the time to major media outlets, and I never get a call back. But then I look at big publications, and I see that they've written stories, and I research the person that wrote it, and they have nothing to do with Puerto Rico. So...
Oh my God.
So it's it's a bit frustrating, and I think, but the great thing about the blog is that you create your own platform, and you create your audience that I don't have to depend. I'm my own editor, which is great, and I'm very thankful for social media and for a blog to have my own platform. I don't have to wait for somebody to call me back and allow me to share my stories.
I love just the few minutes we've been talking. I love that you are a Puerto Rican woman pitching about Puerto Rican travel. That is phenomenal. What's something else in the Puerto Rican community for women? A topic, a subject, something that just doesn't get discussed except for within your community that you'd love to shed light to?
I think it's a diversity that exists within our Puerto Rican community. I think that because we, being U.S. citizens, which a lot of people don't know, that we...
They don't?
You'll be surprised. People are like, what currency do they use in Puerto Rico?
What? Oh my God, we got to do a test.
Seriously.
People do know that Puerto Rico is basically like the 51st state, right? Like it's essentially like America.
It's closer than Hawaii, So I think that there's a lot of diversity within the community. Like some of the concerns of people that live in Puerto Rico in the island are different than Puerto Ricans that live in the United States. There's different challenges within our communities. I think also we've always been a very matriarchal society. I feel like even though it's like kind of on the surface is macho, but there's so many women out there, and especially when I go back to when I was writing my book about Puerto Rico, like I just met so many women doing awesome things like opening restaurants and in the PR scene and just doing going back to agriculture is one of the things that due to the budget crisis, you have a lot of people like this woman that I met. She pretty much took over her father's coffee farm and like elevated it to a huge brand. So it was like from before it was just this like little coffee farm, and now she has like 3 coffee shops in San Juan, and she's like she created this big brand.
That is phenomenal. Dining Traveler. Follow Jessica. You are very inspiring. We are rooting for you, and a lot of women listen to this, so I hope somebody hears that you are writing and pitching about Puerto Rican travel. You'll get there. Michelle, get over here. Michelle, I have so many questions about food blogging. What do you think of Tom Siatsima from the Washington Post? Is that guy an asshole or what?
No, I have a really good story. I actually have a really, really good story about it.
The only reason I say that is I am obsessed with Tom Siatsima.
Me too.
Like I used his entire dining guide when I went to New Orleans, and it was so phenomenal. And ever since, I email him every couple of months to do a interview on my podcast, and he never responds.
Never,
and I'm like,
but
you know
I
what,
can tell you
Tom?
how.
Really? Give me this scoop. Tell me this story about Tom Siatsima. I'm dying to meet him.
I'll give you the quick story, but I also am obsessed with Tom. And, I've been wanting to write about food since I was in college, so I used to also email him every day to ask if I could intern for free.
He must hate all these emails. By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, Tom Siatsima is the Washington Post food critic, has been for years. I mean, super renowned.
Yes.
Has eaten everywhere 5-star, gone all. They send that man
Everywhere.
every country, every 5-star best restaurant.
Which is my story.
And he really does have. I mean, when I've taken it, he knows his shit. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, please. Oh, I curse all the time.
So I don't know if you know, but there's this chef named Rene Redzepi. He has this world famous restaurant called Noma in Copenhagen.
Yes.
So
heard of it.
He opened a pop-up this year from like April to June, and I've been following it because he sources hyper local. He's really renowned in his craft. He's very well known for just super local, like everything, like within 20 miles of the restaurant.
Wow.
So it's something that I've been looking forward to, and just watching the process and thinking how amazing would it be if I could go to this restaurant, right? So this year I turned 30. So it was a big monumental
Love
year.
it.
Okay? So my boyfriend just looked up the restaurant. It was in Mexico, to see, for shits and giggles, like how much it would be. Low cost of $750 per person.
$750 per person.
Yes.
Holy
And
shit.
Not only that, but you have to get to Mexico, and the reservations had been sold out in 2 minutes for months, right? So
Oh my God.
So we were like, oh, whatever, haha. Well, then one morning I opened up my Twitter, and I don't even tweet that much, but I just opened up Twitter for some strange reason, and Tom, our boy, had tweeted, "Reader has 2 extra tickets to Noma, Mexico. Reach out."
What?
So I reply something insane, like yes, like the dumbest reply. Right?
Tom Siatsima, yes.
Like thinking that he's already given them away, or he's already gotten. No, he replies, instant tears. I just start crying instantly, right? No reason, no like reasonable reaction. I just start crying. And within like 20 minutes, because I do have a food blog, and it was on my signature, so I was hoping maybe that would give me some cred, and it did.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
so
great.
I was put in touch with the people that had the tickets. I just booked plane tickets. My boyfriend's like, I saw an email that we're going to Mexico, and I was like, just don't worry about it. Don't ask questions.
All right, rapid fire here. Are you for Yelp or against Yelp?
I'm for Yelp if you're traveling to a city that you are unfamiliar with, because it will show you some, spots in the area. But also Google has this thing that's where the locals eat, which I highly recommend.
Ooh.
But I'm not into Yelp reviewers.
Any restaurant you'd name that is overrated?
I'll tell you which one I think is overrated.
Really? What?
Haleo.
Oh, I agree. Another good one.
What the hell is up with that?
I agree.
have been multiple times. Sorry, because I love Jose Andres. Like
I do too.
like
He's
heart and soul,
so
but
cute, but
no, it's not good. I just don't think it's
tell us again all your social media. Where can people find you?
So blog is hangrydistrict.com, at Hangry Michelle, and then Hangry District on Facebook, and at Hangry Michelle on Twitter.
Michelle,
So, yeah.
awesome. Thank you, Tom Sienzema. We have the same story.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Every day, hey, Frase, what's the phrase that you hear? Tune in, yeah, you gotta tune in. Sarah Fraser on the mic, and she about to begin. The co-host with the most on one looking fleek. Take it from me, you should.